You wake up, buy groceries, pay bills, fill your fuel tank, and go to work. It feels like ordinary life. But what if I told you that almost every financial decision you make is being influenced by the economy? Whether you realize it or not, the economy quietly affects your daily life more than you think. And in 2026, its impact is becoming impossible to ignore. Many people think the economy is something discussed only by politicians, economists, and news channels. In reality, it directly affects your salary, expenses, savings, opportunities, and overall financial stability every single day. One of the most visible ways the economy affects daily life is through prices. When economic conditions change, the cost of food, fuel, housing, healthcare, and transportation often changes too. The economy also affects jobs. When businesses grow, hiring increases and opportunities expand. When economic conditions weaken, companies may reduce hiring, freeze salaries, or even eliminate positions. Even if you never follow economic news, the economy still follows you. Every purchase, every bill, every paycheck, and every financial goal is influenced by forces working behind the scenes. Your salary is heavily influenced by the economy. When businesses are growing and making profits, workers often see better opportunities, raises, and bonuses. But when economic growth slows down, salary increases often become smaller while living expenses continue rising. The economy also determines how easy or difficult it is to find a job. During strong economic periods, companies compete for workers. During weaker periods, workers compete for fewer available opportunities. When businesses face rising costs, they often respond by reducing hiring, delaying expansion, or cutting expenses. Unfortunately, workers frequently feel the impact of those decisions first. The economy affects not only how much money you earn, but also how secure your income feels. Economic uncertainty can create fear about layoffs, reduced hours, or future financial instability. This is why two people with the same skills can experience completely different financial outcomes depending on the economic conditions surrounding them at a particular moment in time. Every time you visit a grocery store, the economy is already affecting what you can afford. Changes in production costs, transportation expenses, labor costs, and supply chains all influence the prices you see on store shelves. Fuel prices are another example of how global economic conditions affect daily life. Changes in energy markets, production levels, transportation costs, and international events can influence what you pay at the pump. When fuel becomes more expensive, the impact spreads throughout the economy because transportation costs increase for food, products, deliveries, and many essential services people use every day. Housing costs are also heavily influenced by economic conditions. Interest rates, construction expenses, demand, and local economic growth all help determine rent and home prices. By the time most people notice higher prices, economic forces have often been working behind the scenes for months. The economy quietly shapes everyday expenses long before many people realize what is happening. The economy doesn't only affect what you spend today, it also affects how much of your income you can save for tomorrow. When everyday expenses rise faster than income, building savings becomes much more difficult. When people struggle to save, unexpected emergencies become much more dangerous. A medical expense, vehicle repair, or temporary job loss can quickly create serious financial stress. The economy also affects borrowing. Interest rates influence how expensive it becomes to finance a home, buy a vehicle, use credit cards, or manage personal loans. Higher borrowing costs can slow down major life decisions because families may postpone buying homes, starting businesses, or making important investments due to financial uncertainty. This is why the economy affects much more than money. It influences confidence, future plans, financial security, and even how optimistic people feel about the years ahead. The economy affects more than your wallet. It can also affect your mental health. Financial uncertainty often creates anxiety because people worry about bills, savings, job security, and their ability to handle future challenges. When economic conditions become difficult, many people begin changing daily habits. They spend less, delay purchases, cancel subscriptions, and become more cautious about every financial decision. The economy even influences small everyday choices. Decisions about eating out, traveling, upgrading technology, or making entertainment purchases often change when financial pressure increases. Many families begin discussing money more frequently during economic uncertainty because financial planning becomes increasingly important when costs rise and future conditions feel unpredictable. The emotional impact of economic pressure is often invisible. People may continue working, smiling, and following routines while quietly carrying significant financial stress every day. The economy influences the success of local businesses more than many people realize. When consumers spend confidently, businesses often grow, hire workers, and expand services. When spending slows, many businesses face difficult decisions about staffing, prices, and future investments. When businesses struggle, entire communities can feel the effects. Fewer jobs, reduced investment, and slower economic activity often create challenges that spread beyond individual companies. Strong economies often encourage innovation and expansion. Companies invest in new products, open locations, improve technology, and create opportunities that can benefit workers and consumers alike. Economic uncertainty can have the opposite effect. Companies may become more cautious, delaying major decisions while waiting for conditions to improve before making large investments. This is why economic changes often seem distant at first, but eventually become visible in neighborhoods, workplaces, local businesses, and the opportunities available to ordinary people. The economy doesn't just affect today's bills and expenses, it also shapes your future financial security by influencing income growth, savings potential, investment opportunities, and long-term wealth building over many years. When economic conditions are strong, people often feel more confident about planning for major goals, such as buying a home, starting a business, or building long-term financial stability. During periods of economic uncertainty, many people postpone important decisions because future income, expenses, and opportunities become harder to predict with confidence. Retirement planning is also affected by the economy. Inflation, investment performance, and income growth all influence how much money people may need later in life. This is why understanding the economy is not just about following the news. It is about understanding the forces that influence your future opportunities, financial security, and quality of life. While you cannot control the entire economy, you can control how prepared you are. People who understand economic changes often make smarter financial decisions and adapt more effectively during difficult periods. One of the most important financial habits is tracking where your money goes. Understanding spending patterns helps people respond more effectively when economic conditions become challenging. Building emergency savings can provide valuable protection during economic uncertainty because unexpected events become less damaging when financial reserves are already available. Learning basic financial skills becomes even more important when economic conditions change. Budgeting, saving, avoiding unnecessary debt, and understanding risk can improve long-term stability. People who stay informed often recognize opportunities and risks earlier than others. Economic awareness does not eliminate challenges, but it can help reduce surprises and improve decision-making. Many people spend years blaming themselves for financial struggles without realizing that larger economic forces may be making life significantly more difficult. Understanding this connection can help people make better decisions instead of carrying unnecessary guilt. The economy influences how businesses operate, how families spend, how workers earn, and how communities grow. It quietly shapes opportunities and challenges across nearly every part of daily life. Understanding the economy does not require becoming an expert. Even basic awareness can help people better understand rising costs, changing opportunities, and the financial pressures affecting their everyday decisions. The people who adapt best to economic change are often not the wealthiest. They are the people who stay informed, remain flexible, and adjust their financial habits when conditions evolve. Economic conditions will continue changing throughout your life. Some periods will create opportunities, while others will create challenges. Awareness helps people navigate both situations more effectively. The goal is not to fear the economy. The goal is to understand how it influences your daily choices, so you can make smarter financial decisions and avoid unnecessary mistakes. When people understand why prices change, why jobs shift, and why financial pressure increases, they become less vulnerable to confusion and panic during difficult economic periods. The economy may seem invisible, but its effects appear everywhere around you. Every bill, paycheck, purchase, and financial goal is connected to larger economic forces. Once you recognize how deeply the economy affects daily life, you begin seeing the world differently. Financial news becomes more meaningful because you understand how it may affect your future. The economy affects your life more than you think because it influences your income, expenses, opportunities, and future security every single day. Subscribe now and stay informed because understanding the economy could be one of the most valuable financial skills you ever develop.